Hello shareholders, and this week's vlog has got lots of parish pump stuff, reactions to ideas and questions I put to you over the last few weeks. First of all, what is in this week's show? First up, we are doing air gunning. We've got Jamie Chandler talking about the BSA Defiant, which, as you can tell from my slightly altered voice, is not exactly what we were expecting, but there you go, that's TV programme making. We also have Paul Childerley following his success the other day, shooting squirrels with quite large caliber rifles, but he explains why he has to do it that way. He's out doing that again with the chance of a fox. I can't say very much more about that because David hasn't actually filmed it yet, but he's there right now, and I hope he's going to come back with something. And news this week, thanks very much to Ben Rogers and to Al Gabriel for sending in footage of the deer stalking fair at Kelso. And Ben Rogers sent in his so quickly, just a couple of hours after the show started on Saturday, that I was able to turn it around, turned it into a film which you can now see on the front page of our lovely new website. And that brings me to the website. Thank you very much for the general thumbs up from all of you for it. The idea was to move from a video-led website to an image-led website, a little bit more like the BBC, which leads on Field Sports Britain, Field Sports News and Field Sports Nation, those three things. You may have seen shareholder Michel Pollet's comment on DPO News last week. So he likes the website, but he wants us to make more of a distinction when content is clearly advertising or clearly sponsored comment. He particularly noted that Roy Lupton's Leica Fortis rifle scope piece was a bit of an ad, and he wants us to mark that out. Now that's an interesting question. It is definitely where the whole idea of GDPR and protecting the consumer comes from. I would say that the consumer these days is different to the consumer. The TV viewer these days is different to the TV viewer or even the magazine reader of 10 or 15 years ago. In those days you had a kind of top-down media that told you what to think. Now we have an audience who will judge for themselves, and I think they are capable of looking, you are capable of looking at Roy's Leica Fortis piece and say, okay, that is sponsored by Leica. He's talking about it, but it is sponsored by Leica, therefore I can weigh those two. If I'm going to make a buying decision about that, I know that this is sponsored. Do we need to say, therefore, hashtag ad, which is the way people mark out this kind of content on YouTube? Let me know. What do you think? Other points Michel makes, I think we have addressed. He wants us to get rid of most of the annoying sliders on the website. He writes, personally, I hate having 1/3 of the screen eaten up by something I just might be interested in, but I'll have to chase up like a puppy to click on it if I want to. Yes, I feel your pain. Nikki Sadler points out we don't have very much navigation around the website. Once you're in it, we still have to rely very much on the search bar, so I'm going to address that. And shareholder Alex Cerisi, who runs a branding and marketing agency in Bournemouth called Matchbox Marketing, is having a look at the whole of the website and what's called UX, user experience, and he's going to report back on how to improve that. And he has the advantage, of course, of being a shareholder, so he knows where we're coming from better than if we just hired a marketing person off the street. The same goes for anybody visiting the website. If there's something you don't like, then first of all tell me. Secondly, if you can, tell me what you would like and we will try to make that change. Next up, a big question from Andrew Gibbons, who is a YouTube subscriber and therefore will be a shareholder. He likes what we do, being loud about conservation and sporting pursuits. However, he is worried about our almost total bias towards our almost totally male crew. He writes, one of the key areas I'm fortunate to work professionally is aviation. There is a striking parallel when viewing the majority of your online episodes, an almost total lack of women and their representation and encouragement in the sport, conservationism. It's not totally devoid, but the perception could be seriously rebalanced. This is a problem. In TV land, you have a 4-quadrant show, that is the ideal. It's a show that's watched by people over the age of 25, under the age of 25, by men and by women. We are a 93% male audience. Here are the figures for the last 365 days. And so we are resolutely a 2-quadrant show. So what do we do about that? Andrew is not the first person to recommend a female co-presenter. He wants to see more coverage of women at events and competitions, more tips and reviews for women, and he says it may even improve our male audience too. Do you have any ideas about this? If so, let me know. We want to avoid tokenism, so we don't want to bang the gender drum. We just want to show women where there are women. And we do want more lifestyle programming, maybe at the expense of specialist consumer programming, but not at the expense of stopping Field Sports Britain from being like it is. I have done something on this. I have commissioned a couple of women. Well, actually not only women, they're experts in being women. That sounds a bit weird, but it's true. And they're going to look into what could possibly help us here. One of them, and I like this, she met an American the other day who was wearing 9 kinds of fur, and she said, and I shot every one of them. And it's a slightly strange idea for the UK, but it's a great idea for a story. I like that kind of thing. Now, 2 more things. Matthew Frost's suggestion of techs at £1 each to enter Field Sports Britain competitions did get some thumbs up. Nigel Appleton, shareholder's very keen on it. Harry Chipper says he once sent in a £1 text entry to a competition on national TV, and somehow somebody got hold of his number and he got 60 quid a week nicked off his phone bill. He did get his money back, but thank you, Harry. I think the idea there is watch out for scams and scammers, and we'll certainly do that. And generally a yes to doing more deer dog work. The Field Sports Skills Days are filled up nicely. Thank you for your support there. If you go to the Braces Day, I think around about half the people you will meet will be shareholders or their friends. And we've got a couple more spaces, a few more spaces to fill at the Greenfields Day, which is in a couple of weeks' time, 10 days' time. And you can sign up for that at bit.ly/Greenfields Day. That's going to be in Salisbury, Friday and Saturday, end of next week. And I will see you next week.